Welcome back to another English lesson. It's a little wet out here and I'm a little sick. I am a little under the weather. That's another way to say you're a little bit sick in English, but there is a lot happening in the news and you need to improve your English. So I can't take a day off. In today's English lesson, we are going to watch a news report about how the United States is very close to sending soldiers to Iran who will fight on the ground. So far, this war in Iran with the US has been taking place mostly in the air, at least from the American side. We are fighting, some birds up there, we are fighting through the air. But if we send ground troops, and when I say we, I mean my government, I am not going to say how I feel about this war. That is going to change everything. Ground troops, boots on the ground, you might hear. So if that sounds good to you, please go ahead, subscribe. It's a little cold out here too. So I'm going to go inside where I can teach English a little bit better. Like the video, please. It helps other English learners find this video, and later I will talk about my course, the Breaking News Decoder. Every YouTube teacher needs a course, right? Well, mine is going to release in a couple weeks and I am going to have a 50% coupon for you a little later. So let's watch that news clip together. And when you see me next, I will be downstairs, ready to teach.
The war with Iran has entered a fifth week, and concern is growing that the military campaign could soon include American troops on the ground. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez has the latest.
The U.S. conflict with Iran entered its 30th day on Sunday, with fresh airstrikes hitting Tehran. The strikes come as Iran's parliament speaker warned the U.S. against a ground invasion and threatened to step up attacks on U.S. allies. Also on Sunday, foreign ministers of Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt met in Pakistan to discuss how to bring the U.S. and Iran back to the negotiating table.
Okay, you've seen the first part of the news report. Let's talk about some of those difficult words they used, words you might see on the IELTS or the TOEFL exam, words you might hear in everyday conversation. But before we do that, I really want to thank you for clicking on this video. I know there are a lot of amazing English teachers on YouTube, and you picked me. Thank you so much. For each of the terms, I am going to have a definition that I hope will be simple. I will have a sentence and I will have a picture that goes along with that sentence. The first one we have here is concern. And the woman in the picture definitely looks like she has a look of concern on her face. The definition, a feeling of worry about a situation. Here's the sentence. The local community expressed deep concern about the lack of clean water. In the United States, most every town has clean water. You can turn on the tap or the faucet and clean water comes out. This city must have had a problem. I do know there was a city a couple years ago called Flint, Michigan, and they had real concerns about the tap water there. It might have been pretty bad to drink. Next, we have a military campaign. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know we talk about campaigns when we talk about elections, presidential elections, local elections. A military campaign is a little different. Here is the definition. A planned series of military actions to achieve a specific goal. And a lot of people are wondering, what is the goal for the United States in Iran? Do we want regime change? Do we want them to stop trying to make nuclear weapons? We don't know exactly what the goal is for this military campaign. Let's get a sentence. The government started a military campaign to protect the country's borders. Before we go too much further, I am launching a course to help you read the news better in English, also to help you watch the news better in English. Right up there is a QR code that will take you to my mailing list. You will get a free PDF that gives you 50 of the most common words and terms you will see in the news. And then later, I will send you a 50% off code for the course. So the course is $100, about 50% off. You will be paying less than $50 for this course. Back to the English. Boots on the ground. I mentioned this in the introduction. Let's talk about what it is officially. Physical soldiers or troops who are actually present and fighting in a location. Like I said earlier, a lot of planes are flying over Iran and dropping bombs. This would be different. This would be soldiers or troops. You can use either term, and their boots. In the picture, you can see there are boots. They would actually be on Iranian soil. Here is a sentence that uses boots on the ground. The president said there would be no boots on the ground. They will only provide air support. And I think President Trump said that at the beginning of this war, and now we're not so sure. Troops are headed to the area. Will they actually invade Iran? We'll have to wait and see. Correspondent is next. Correspondent is next. I think this is almost the same word in Russian. If you speak Russian, please let me know. Correspondent, a reporter who sends news. Excuse me, my voice is not that strong today. A reporter who sends news from a specific place or a specific subject. Here is the sentence. The foreign correspondent reported live from the city center. Ooh, I was going to say, I don't know what city she is in, but if you look down at the bottom, it says Rome. Is that true? Is that Rome, Italy? Next, we have fresh airstrikes. You might hear like fresh air when you go outside, but this way, fresh is used a little differently. It's almost like new. Let's get the official definition. New or recent attacks by airplanes that drop bombs. Here is the sentence. After a short peace, there were reports of fresh airstrikes in the mountains. Next, we have an English phrasal verb here, to step up something. And in this case, it is to step up attacks. Maybe you are stepping up your English learning. We'll talk about that in just a second. To step up attacks means to increase the number or the strength of military actions. The army decided to step up attacks to end the conflict more quickly. If you are stepping up your English learning, maybe you learn English for 30 minutes a day. That's pretty good. But if you want to step it up, maybe you take an hour to learn and study English. Foreign ministers, that is a term they use in the newscast. It means government officials in charge of their country's relations with other nations. And they talked about how some foreign ministers are meeting in Pakistan, hopefully to come up with a solution or a peace plan for this war. If you talk about the United States, we don't have a foreign minister. We have a Secretary of State. He is the person that deals with other countries, and his name is Marco Rubio. We've talked about him a lot on this channel. Here's a sentence that uses foreign ministers. The foreign ministers met in Geneva to discuss the new trade agreement.
Also on Sunday, foreign ministers of Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt met in Pakistan to discuss how to bring the U.S. and Iran back to the negotiating table. The Strait of Hormuz remains closed to the U.S. and U.S. allies, driving up oil and gas prices. On Friday, President Trump expressed optimism with how the war is progressing.
On Iran, they are being decimated. They are talking. We are talking now. They want to make a deal. Very simply, our military is the greatest in the world by far.
The president has repeatedly said that he has not ruled out putting U.S. boots on the ground in Iran in order to bring the conflict to an end. On Sunday's Face the Nation, the former commander of the U.S. Central Command praised the president for keeping all military options in Iran open.
Iran will ultimately respond to the use of force. They know and understand it. perhaps better than we have in the past.
Number 8, back to the table. You will hear a lot about the negotiating table. A negotiating table, it might be a real table, but it is a place where negotiations happen. Negotiations are talks to try to come up with a solution. Usually 2 or 3 people are at that table, maybe more, 2 or 3 countries sometimes. Back to the table. Here is the official definition: to return to formal discussions or negotiations after a break or disagreement. Both sides agreed to go back to the table to find a peaceful solution. Hopefully, representatives from the United States and Iran can get back to the table and end this war as quickly as possible. Next, we have driving up prices. Now, you might know driving. You can get in a car and drive somewhere, but this English phrasal verb is something a little different. Driving up prices means making the cost of goods and services go higher. Oh, I wish we had those gas prices per gallon. You can see the super is $2.20. Right now in my state, I think it's almost $4. Out in California, I think it's twice as much. Let's talk about this sentence here. The shortage of oil is driving up prices at the gas station. What if somebody has optimism, or the adjective is optimistic? What if somebody is optimistic? Let's get the definition for optimism: a feeling of hope and confidence about the future. If you are optimistic, you think the future is going to be good. Here's a bonus term: pessimistic. That means you think the future is going to be bad. Are you pessimistic about the war here in Iran? Do you think bad things are going to happen, or are you optimistic? Let's get a sentence that uses optimism, the noun. Despite the difficulties, there is optimism that the economy will improve. Man, I have had to stop quite often because my voice is getting weaker. Let's go. I think we have about 8 more terms. Progressing. Hey, how is your English learning progressing? Let's get the definition for progressing: moving forward or developing toward a goal. Here is the sentence: the construction of the new hospital is progressing very quickly. I do have a cough drop here, but I can't have that in my mouth and teach at the same time. My words need to be clear so you can hear every word I say. The next one is decimated. Decimated. That means to destroy or kill a very large part of something. It's not a good word, that is for sure. Take a look at the picture. It looks like we have a forest, and a lot of it has been decimated. Oh, from fire. That's what the sentence says. The ancient forest was decimated by the massive fire last summer. Ruled out. Love this English phrasal verb. You know, native English speakers love to use English phrasal verbs. So let's talk about what ruled out means: to decide that something isn't possible or not an option. Oh, this summer, I was supposed to take a great trip to China, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Dubai, but because of the war, I ruled that trip out. But maybe Peru this summer. I want to visit all of the 7 wonders of the world. I've done 3 so far. Maybe I can get a 4th one in. Machu Picchu, Peru. I haven't ruled that one out yet. Let's talk about this sentence here. The doctor ruled out a broken bone after looking at the x-ray. Next, we have a commander. It's kind of like a boss. When I hear commander, I usually think military. Here is the official definition: a person in a high position of authority, especially the military. Here is a sentence: the commander gave the order for the troops to move forward. What do we have next? Oh, praised. They also used praised in the newscast. It's always good to get praise. That's the noun. Let's talk about the verb, praised. to say that someone or something is very good or did a great job. The manager praised the team for finishing the project on time. I should praise you right now. Nice job. You have been watching for a long time. I hope this English lesson is helping you improve. What if all options are open? All options are open. It's almost like the opposite of ruled out. That means to wait before making a final decision so you can choose different paths later. Like you are pretty much open to anything happening. Here's the sentence. The company wants to keep all options open before signing the contract. I don't think I've ever taught this on the channel, but we use it quite often here in the United States. Perhaps. It's pretty much like maybe, but it's a little more formal. Perhaps. If you want to sound a little smarter in English, maybe start saying perhaps instead of maybe. The official definition, used to show that something is possible but not certain, similar to maybe. Perhaps we can meet for coffee tomorrow if you are free.
This administration is willing to use force. Other administrations have been thoroughly deterred by Iran. President Trump is not deterred by Iran.
But a number of European leaders, including Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, are warning the U.S. Russia is assisting Iran.
This can be a confusing word, thoroughly. Thoroughly. Also not easy to say. Thoroughly, very carefully and completely. The police searched the building thoroughly to find the evidence. And if you want to pass the IELTS or TOEFL exam, you need to study thoroughly. Next, we have a verb, deterred. Deterred is next. The official definition, to be discouraged or prevented from doing something because of fear or difficulty. Yeah, this summer, I was deterred from taking that trip because I worried about going through Dubai. So I canceled everything. Let's get a sentence here. It looks like there's some sort of movie or some sort of show in that picture there. The high cost of the tickets deterred many people from attending the concert. But hey, it's still sold out. So some people, I guess, did not want to go because the price was too high. Great job. I'm going to praise you again right now. You made it to the end of the lesson. Right up there is that QR code. If you would like to join my mailing list and get that 50% off coupon sent to you in a few days, right down there is another English lesson about, guess what? The war in Iran. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.